Hi muckers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My hair is horrendous today. Some days it's a hit, some days it's a miss. Let's not talk about it. I'm aware of it, and if I know that there's gonna be people be like, oh no, it looks the exact same as every other day, and I'm like, oh, but that's an insult. Some days it dries straight, some days it dries curly. That's what happens when you bleach your hair so much and it's falling out. So today's video though, we are going to be talking about Keemstar, who I affectionately like to call Creamstar. It's just one of my favorites. Not Keemstar, but calling him Creamstar. Clarification. He is coming for Ethan Klein hard right now, and he's been on his ass for a while, especially after the recent, couple of controversies that Ethan Klein has dabbled his toes in, and by that I mean diving straight into the fucking pool. And Keemstar has definitely been covering them a lot because we know that Keemstar loves any sort of demise of Ethan, the same way that you could argue that Ethan is the exact same with Keemstar. I think they're both just like throwing juggling balls of controversies around each other. But whenever Ethan made the comments that we talked about with the gays, Keemstar was on that. We talked about that. And then in this recent stuff with the... I'm just gonna blur out the words so I can say it, so it makes it easier filming, but whenever you hear the audio go up and down, it's literally just me editing, so is what I'm gonna be saying. But with this recent drama, and I hate even calling it drama, but because for me, ever since I started talking about this, I feel like people are focusing on the wrong thing here. And I've talked about this, my responsibility of a creator on here. I'm here to give you the drama, whatever that means. I'm here to give you the news. I want to call it the news instead. I'm not always referring to what I do as news, but in this instance, it's so icky calling this drama, and I hate that people are. But Keemstar has talked about the situation that happened with Ethan, and it just really pisses me off because I feel like more and more as the days are going on, all of these creators, and Keemstar, whenever he's bringing Ethan, trying to expose him for what he said about all this, it just takes attention away from what actually happened and what actually matters here. There was the Texas school and I feel that as the days are going on, people are remembering more and more of what Ethan said on it, or what Keemstar said on it, if they had made awful jokes. Oh my god, it really is annoying that, the main focus on this, and the reason that I'm gonna tell you what has happened here, show you, and I would love to know your opinion, the reason I'm not gonna, after every tweet, stop and give an opinion, is because I'm here to tell you what has happened, and I'm here to update you, and I would love to know where you're thinking, and I would love to talk to you in the comments below, but I don't feel that it's important in this video to do anything else other than to show you what is happening online right now, because it is becoming very big. And it's something that Keemstar is talking about. A lot of people are engaging in it, and I do want to show you. But again, while I'm doing that, I just don't feel the need to, me be here's my drama opinion on it, and that. I want to give you the news of what's happening, because I just think that this is taking further and further away from what actually happened. So, here we go. So, Ethan made distasteful jokes, and as a H3 fan, that's what I'm going to call them, about the NRA. The day after, I think it was, the school happened in Texas with all the children. And that's the story here. The story is, that is what happened, and we shouldn't be allowing Keemstar calling Ethan out, or Ethan making jokes, to take away from that's actually what happened, and please still remember that. I know you are, but that is literally what's important here. That is what happened. So Ethan got a strike on YouTube after that happened, and Keemstar was one of the main people involved in that, because I know he wouldn't say that, but he was, being YouTuber, yet to respond. He made a video that was H3 production calls for a terrorist attack on US soil, and we're waiting for a response from YouTube. And he was definitely one of the people that probably applied pressure on YouTube, whether it was just publicly tweeting, to have something happen to Ethan's channel. Well, it did, and a strike has now happened. Now, one thing I do want to say, it's a question. Normally on YouTube, you get 3 strikes and your channel's terminated. H3 got a strike a couple months ago, and now they've got this one. So, does the same apply for them? If they get another strike, does that mean their channel's terminated? Or is it this, if they get a strike after that? I'm just really confused, and I'm wondering, what strike they're on right now. And maybe YouTube are taking away the strikes, because whenever I saw they got this latest strike, my immediate thought was, I'm pretty sure this is either their 2nd or 3rd strike. And YouTube have rules that it's when you get 3 strikes, your channel's terminated, or you're kicked off the partner program. And I don't know if maybe their strikes are not staying on their channel, but that's normally what happens to a channel, and I feel like that's why Keemstar is pushing so much for YouTube to respond, because he knows that they're probably at that threshold already. So that's really what I'm confused as to like where H3's standing is with YouTube right now. Now, their strike is over. It's still on their channel, but they're now back. They did their comeback episode. And it is also important to note that Ethan did the following tweet whenever he was addressing that he was coming back. And he said, "As much as I've enjoyed my week-long vacation, we will be dropping on Monday. On Monday, we are back to YouTube with our regular schedule. On Monday, we will be exploding back on the scene. I'm going to new recording, right? Monday, see you then." And then the H3 account responds and be like, "Sounds like a blast." Listen, it just feels that with everything, Ethan has to double down on it. Like, he has to be the one to make the last comment on it, and that's literally what that just comes across as to me. I think it's very obvious that whenever he said we should NRA after that, it was coming from a place of frustration. He's on a live episode. It was a joke. It doesn't make it a good joke. It was distasteful. I didn't stand by it. I don't. I still think that I can disagree with what he said. I think it's really unfunny. I think it's really insensitive. And I can still be like, I feel like it was a joke. And I feel like that's where all of these things now, he's like doubling down on it because he's like, oh, like no one in their right mind would think that I'm saying that seriously. And I do believe that that's where that's coming from. It doesn't make me think the joke was funny. It doesn't make me think it was anything but insensitive. But I feel like him doubling down on it and, you know, keep bringing it up is just like showing, because he's made so many statements where he's like, people know I'm not being serious. And so it's up to whatever your take is on that. Now, Keemstar's tweets. He said, H3 Ethan Klein said all of this. And then he gives timestamps. He says, at 24 minutes, he calls for a at the NRA. At 27 minutes, he calls for an attack on Texas governor in a wheelchair. At 53 minutes, he calls for people to go to Senator Ted Cruz with at his house. And then at 2 hours, he makes a Walmart and he's still not banned on YouTube. So again, this is Keemstar, who's so anti-cancel culture, and Keemstar who's so like, jokes are fine and I don't like cancel culture. And it's really weird seeing Keemstar have this take, because that is exactly what it is. You know, he's like bringing up like, why aren't you banned? You've said all this. So this is the compilation that Keemstar included, backing up all of the points of what he said, and then he goes on to tweet. So
actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas, someone should building. Mm-hmm. Is it bad advice to say like, go outside Ted Cruz's house and just
Yes.
Yes.
How bitch? See how you like outside your house. Get a fake tactical nuke. So hard. I hope his wheelchair hits a big old rock and he fucking tumbles out of that. You know, he's in a wheelchair. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just hope that someone puts a stick in his fucking wheelchair and he tumbles out of his seat. And he goes, help me back into my chair. I'm just saying, if you're going to up anything.
Don't make it.
If they show, if there was a Walmart, and then they
got it.
Wait, stop.
There was a Walmart. This is very insensitive. Stop making this joke.
And then
There's literally a thing at Walmart today.
Don't finish it when it's cutting out.
Let me finish. And then they showed me that video and said this is what they were doing the day before. I'd be like, that's horrible, but I get it.
Okay, so he includes that. And then he goes on to tweet, keep in mind, Trump was at the NRA building along with many other politicians. In one single H3 podcast, Ethan Klein made a threat against the governor, a senate, the former president of the United States. If he's not banned on YouTube, then there are no YouTube rules. He goes on and says, Leafy is Here's 5 million subscriber YouTube channel was banned for making fun of Pokemon. H3 Productions podcast calls for a terrorist attack on US soil, threatens a senator and the governor, and he's not banned on YouTube. Make it make sense. And then he goes on to tweet and says, Ethan Klein and his friend creators have been lying, trying to spin his call for a terrorist attack on US soil as a joke. Today from his mouth. And it's not a joke, he doubled down on it. It wasn't always as a statement for anyone with a normal IQ. So then he includes this clip, which is Ethan explaining basically why he made a joke. So this is what he says, and this is a clip that Keemstar shows.
All those terrible people are in one building. And I was thinking, like, how are we going to get these people to actually care about this? And it's like, bring the heat to their house.
Okay, so he includes that. And I mean, the responses to this are kind of just like, you're Ethan's #1 fan. And people are saying, Keemstar, I thought you were against cancel culture. And then if I go to the original tweet, these are mainly the responses. Someone said, I think he was trying to be funny and fell flat about Ethan. Someone said, you left out the part and you keep leaving out the part where he walks back on his joke, which he said immediately after you cut this video. People are saying that, okay, well, this was a live video and he said a statement, he said a joke, it wasn't funny, but he did say it whenever he was live. People are saying, okay, Keemstar, so you're now pro cancel culture. And then there's other people saying that, you know, if anyone else said that, they would be permanently banned off the platform. Someone else said, don't act like you're any better. And then there's just like a lot of back and forth, and my take on it is this. I talked about this and it still pisses me off that we're going more and more, because of these creators, away from the fact that this was a shooting that happened at a school and involved all of these children, and that's what we should be focusing on. Now, Ethan on his podcast made an unfunny joke and then walks back on it seconds later. And Dan calls him out to take it back too, after Ethan was already going to do that. They're live. I do feel like the stipulations are different when you're doing a live podcast versus a video that you edit, post, you know, it's a different process. That doesn't make what Ethan said good or okay. I still think that it was a joke. I don't think it was funny. I think it was insensitive. He shouldn't have made it. He did walk back on it, and I don't know why people aren't addressing that. And it doesn't take being up Ethan's ass to know that it just was a really bad comment to make. But it was said as a joke. Now again, we're aware, not all jokes are funny. Some of them can be taken very bad. Some of them, the intention is bad, and that doesn't take away from the fact that they are jokes, and that's literally what my take is on this. I feel that with so many of these clips that are resurfacing, they're all like 7-second clips. And then if you watch the entire thing, it's like Ethan will walk back on it, or the staff will walk back on it on his behalf, or like Ela will say something. And I feel like there's a point that most of the clips that we're seeing on Twitter are like 8 seconds, and not like 2 minutes or whatever like that. And even the big long compilation that we watched at the start, it was a bunch of different parts. In no way is this me endorsing what Ethan's saying, and I'm not endorsing the fact that he even came back and was continuing to make like, I'm gonna podcast and da-da-da, because I just feel that he always has to have the last say, and I never liked that. I never liked that. But I don't think that that takes away from the fact that his original comment was a joke. And I just want to know if other people have that same opinion. And maybe if you don't, please let me know. I would love to have, a respectful conversation about this down below. What do you think about Keemstar saying this? Do you trust it less? Do you trust it more because it's coming from Keemstar? What's your opinion of the way Ethan handled it whenever he came back? I want to know what your take is on this. So please let me know. Please, a respectful conversation below about this, because so much of this stuff is triggering, and it's all real life stuff. So I would please, if we can have a respectful conversation about this below. I love you, muckers. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one, and please let me know. Okay, bye.